Boom shakalaka. What's going on, everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love, and I am joined today by Juan Engelbrecht, the CEO of MOBU. What's going on, Juan?
Hi, Randall. Thank you for your time and thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, it's a
Good
pleasure
day,
to have
viewers.
you. Pleasure to have you, and that is quite a name to pronounce today. But today we're talking about MOBU. So, real quickly, give us the elevator pitch for MOBU.
Decentralized and end-to-end solution for launching compliant security tokens. Boom. The future of security tokens.
That is awesome, and that's a pretty big market. How big is the securities token market suspected to be?
Well, from last I saw on Bloomberg, we're looking at around 80 trillion US dollars. Yeah, so that is a massive market. And if you go further into if you delve a little bit deeper into our white paper and you see our mobile initiatives, we aim to, besides our confirmed issues we already have on board, we also aim to do 3 ICOs on mobile if you raise certain amounts of capital to develop the ecosystem and ensure better usage of the mobile token. And one of them is, why I'm mentioning this, one of them is to create the first Forex spam account, percentage allocation money management. Now, what all that means is blockchain is used for information that needs to be exposed, transparency. And currently, worldwide, I know especially in South Africa, we have the problem of fund managers not comparing apples with apples. Or they never compare the real true figures of what performance fees they made per annum, as well as the cost percentages they charge on the funds level, as well as the assets under management. Now, in a blockchain environment, you can easily resolve that problem or issue, as the information will be transparent and apples will be compared with apples at the end of the day.
Yes, there's a pretty big project you're taking on. There are a couple other projects in the security space. So there's things like Polymath and T0. So how
Correct.
does MOBU compare with both of those?
Correct. I would see Polymath as a more direct competitor, and we actually that's a question we get regularly. So we wrote an article on it recently. First of all, I would just like to state I think Polymath is a great company, and the thing about competition is it indicates you're solving an actual problem. So I think it's a good thing to have competition, but Polymath focuses on being a protocol. I think they call it the ST20 token, if I'm mistaken. And we focus more on developing the marketplace that implements a unique protocol called the MOB20 standard. We've got a few extra features, being one, our unique escrow. So currently, there's a lot of scam ICOs. Let's be honest. Unfortunately, it's not a completely regulated market. There are scam ICOs where the ICO issuers run away with the investors' capital. In a MOBU standard, MOB20 standard ICO, that will not be possible. The ICO issuers will never have 100% access to the capital. They'll be funded on a pro rata basis, and the investors can exit the ICO even after ICO on a pro rata basis. And this will ensure a higher return on investment over the long term as well. Yeah, that is the one. Also, we aim to form bank partnerships to ensure fiat can be converted to crypto globally. I know there's some countries there are restrictions. I was recently in Malta, and we have definitely opened a lot of discussions regarding that. I don't want to disclose anything of yet until it is written on paper. But one thing I can say is we've definitely managed to identify solutions like Revolut. I know companies or individuals in the EU are making use of Revolut, an iAccount. Revolut allows you to open a bank account to up to 60,000 euros without any form of identification. Of course, we would like to walk the legal path as far as possible, not as far as possible always, but that is just one way that most people are not aware of. Because I've noticed, and some of our blockchain community members have informed us that if a Bitcoin payment hits your bank account in the UK, they close your bank account. Some of the banks do that. But I strongly believe going forward, relatively easy form bank partnerships since we comply with all the legal requirements that a bank does as well in terms of KYC, AML, etc., etc., etc. So,
Okay.
sorry, not a strength of the lot. And the other point you mentioned was T0. T0 is more a security token exchange than the actual protocol or marketplace. If we raise more than $30 million US, we will also launch security token exchange and then compete with T0. But this stage, there will be more synergy than the competition with T0. I'm hoping and ensuring we've got a strong marketing campaign, we've got a strong product, and our tokenomics is sound. So I hope we will reach the $30 million US mark. I would love to take on T0, but our unique feature there will be we'll be the only security token exchange that are decentralized. I know GBAX and T0 have been funded by other stock exchanges, and we briefly write about that in our white paper as well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So you touched on some things there that I did want to kind of find out some more information about. The first is the MOB 20 standard. So what's that?
That is the simple explanation is we're all familiar with the ERC 20 standard. Mm-hmm. You know how to invest in the ICO on the Ethereum network. You know how to get your tokens after ICO, and everybody's familiar with this environment. Now, in South Africa, we got something called SABS. It basically just a stamp of approval of quality and good service, and a MOB 20 standard will be very similar to that. It is just to ensure it is compliant security token in a trusted network. Okay,
gotcha. And then you mentioned there's a lockup utility, and that's rather than spending the tokens. So how does that work?
Good question, Randall. Basically, this is where our tokenomics come into play. This was actually some of the input of one of our partners, Lunar Labs. This is one method of remaining a utility token and creating scarcity of the token that in reality also increases the value of the token. Mm-hmm. So by all the KYC providers, all the escrow providers, all the technical smart contract developers need to stake X amount of MOBU tokens to receive the right to operate in the MOBU ecosystem. And as long as they want to operate and receive a MOBU fee, if I can call it that, they need to remain, those tokens will be locked up for the full duration. They are operational on the ecosystem.
Okay, gotcha. And then also there was, so your tokens are restricted to verified users?
Correct.
And how do you do that? Because this is the first time that I've kind of heard of that.
That's a very good question. That is actually something, okay, in our abstract contract, the abstract contract, to explain that better, is basically the foundation of a compliant security token. And all other contracts, all the other ICOs will inherit this abstract contract. By way of example, let's say the abstract is a vehicle. A vehicle must have an engine and wheels, for argument's sake, as a basic features of being a vehicle. But it can take on various forms. It can be a scooter, it can be a limousine, it can be a Lamborghini, and it can have extra features. It can have an aircon, it can have extra sound, or whatever the case may be. And this is basically how we adapt the abstract contract into the MOB 20 standard. Mm-hmm. I hope I answered your question there.
Okay, so basically, in order to hold your token, someone's going to have to go through KYC, AML, probably be an accredited investor at least in the U.S.
Correct. Yes, to get the SEC exemption and all that. That is correct. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So now.
Just to add what you were saying there. So we'll basically comply with all the legal requirements a security does at the end of the day as well, just in a blockchain, online, real-time environment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's my next question. So at least in the United States right now, laws seem very vague around security tokens.
Correct.
So how are you preparing for that, and how are you going to deal with it in the future?
We're going to, your SEC commissioner name is Jay Clinton. Okay, but nonetheless, I know it's Jay something, but nonetheless, we're going to treat all ICOs as security tokens. That is a safe way of ensuring we comply with all the laws globally. So there will be extra KYC, extra KYC, AML, all these features will be compulsory going forward on the MOBU standard to ensure there's no gray area of non-compliance.
Gotcha. So where are you guys right now in terms of development?
Good question. We're going to launch a mock-up that shows the full flow of the tech side of an MVP before pre-sale. That's a month away from now. Yeah, that's going to be something to see. I've briefly viewed it with the team, and yeah, this is definitely something all the viewers can look forward to.
Okay. Tell us about your team.
Bram Creer and Paul Pelser. Paul Pelser is our CFO. He's a chartered accountant. He's a director of an auditing firm, and he was accountant at Sasol, one of our large oil refineries in South Africa, listed company JSE. Paul and Bram, myself, started the largest cryptocurrency mining farm in the Southern Hemisphere until recently, until last year. There was too many entrants to the market last year with that big bull run. Brian Golding was the CEO of Golding Stockbrokers. He's also my partner in Evolve Fund Managers, him and Rudy Goebel. Brian Golding is probably one of the best traders in South Africa. He's very familiar with the regulatory framework, and a well-known name is JSE, our local exchange. Who's there else? Pietri van Zyl, Isak van Zyl. They were with me at varsity. We know each other from school days. Pietri was recently also still head of legal at Zeder Investments in Zambia. Yeah, I think I covered most of the team there. Oh, and also, Scotty, I forgot our CTO, the most important guy out there, Frikkie from Billion. He's been involved in the tech industry since he was a little baby. He did all our university hostels as websites, and all the hostels approached him. He got endless awards for that during varsity alone, and he's the head of IT at one of our listed companies, Momentum, currently as well.
Okay.
So that's a little brief overview. Oh, Etienne Pretorius as well. Etienne Pretorius was awarded the Entrepreneur of the Year award at Absa Bank, one of the largest banks in South Africa, for a property development he did in 2003. We were also at university together. He's a good friend of Richard Branson, and yeah, he's a well-known businessman in South Africa and a good real estate investor. Yeah. Very
cool. Sounds like a solid team. I noticed from your website that a lot of the team was involved in Zabercoin previously.
That is correct.
Zabercoin didn't reach their soft cap? Is that?
That is correct. That is the best thing that could have happened to us. And we got experience now in launching a security token. This is also MOBU, the idea of MOBU came across. We realized how difficult it is launching a security token, and also how many ICO scams and scam ICO service providers there are. To give you an idea, I probably get between 50 and 100 Telegram and emails from ICO service providers, and 80% of them are or a scam or mispriced completely. To give you an idea, Zabercoin smart contract cost us about $80,000 US, just a smart contract. Now, every guy got a story. No, this is hackable, or this is not right. And every guy's got his own opinion. 3 plus 6 gives you 9, and 4 plus 5 gives you 9. Now, after that experience, now we can do that same $80,000 contract for $5,000. So that's a huge difference, and this will allow many more ICO barriers to entry for ICO will be so much easier in a MOBU environment where you can get only vetted IC service providers on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll show lower pricing and better quality of ICO service providers.
Awesome. So you guys have the experience from that.
Great.
Cool.
I would like to emphasize this. All investors of Zabercoin were refunded. I was the largest investor in Zabercoin. We just didn't reach soft cap. It's simple and easy as that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. So there's a whole bunch of different ICOs going on right now. Why did you guys choose security tokens?
Good question. We believe that is the biggest market to take on, and this is the way to go. There are three types of tokens. There's currency tokens, utility tokens, security tokens. And I think the market cap of cryptocurrencies currently is about $300 billion. It reached a peak last year, about $800 billion. And the securities market out of those three tokens is still between 100 and 200 million US dollars. That is the biggest market to take on for a start. We realized how difficult it is with Zabercoin. And what real problems there are out there. Besides the fact launching a blind security token, you also the market needs regulation. Regulation is sometimes a good thing as well. It needs a vetted marketplace for quality ICO service providers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this question, what excites you the most about MOBU?
Yes, there's a lot to be. Let's be honest. Watching the cryptocurrency market on a daily basis, that doesn't excite you. Nothing in this world will. I think nobody can say they've lost and made so much money this quickly. So just being involved in something that you know is revolutionary. Blockchain tech has been referred to by many as the technology of the century. And the biggest thing in MOBU is to realize we have actual blockchain use behind it. And that is just, we emphasize it on all our social media, is to set the rules that govern for compliant security tokens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, great. So I think we've touched on a lot of things. Anything else that I haven't mentioned that you'd like to talk about?
I would like to refer, if you don't mind, to our confirmed issuers. So we've thought this idea of MOBU over and over and over again, and we sent it to some of the greatest blockchain minds to get audited. And we've really invested, besides capital, time as well into the idea and the execution of this. I would like to emphasize that we got confirmed issuers on the platform already. Mike Prinsloo, he's the individual that probably moved most gold, physical gold in the world around ever. He was a CEO of Bandru Mining. He was listed on Toronto Stock Exchange. He was the CEO of Goldfields. He was the CEO of a mining company in Congo. Also, we got Etienne Pretorius, a team member, but he also wants to do a property development in the blockchain space in a compliant manner. The guy I referred to earlier that was the entrepreneur of the year. Also, we got Wayne van den Berg. He started the Van den Berg Group. It's over $1 billion company in the coal mining space. And then, so that is definitely one thing. At the other side, we also a sustainable business at the end of the day. And there's a lot more than just hype when you refer to MOBU. We charge 1% of all the ICOs on the MOBU platform, and also a small percentage in the marketplace between all the KYC providers, all the technical team, and the legal providers. So MOBU at the end of the day is a sustainable business. And you referred earlier to the lockup utility. That will definitely create scarcity and increase in the price of MOBU tokens as well going forward.
Great. So for people who want to find out more about MOBU, what's the best way to go about doing that?
www.mobu.io. All our social media channels are there. We recently did a revamp of the website, but we got Telegram channels for Korea, for Japan, Chinese, and soon you will see also all the translations on the website, available probably next week.
All right, great. And what's the next thing they have looking forward to coming up? What's the next thing coming up?
The thing I'm excited about most is the MVP, the launch of the MVP. That is 3-4 weeks ago, 3 weeks from now. So that's the most exciting thing, I think, at this stage.
Cool. That'll be awesome. I'll be looking forward to that.
Great.
Well, Juwan, thanks very much for joining me for this interview. Very exciting project you got there, and
Thank you, Randall.
the scope of security tokens is pretty huge, so that's pretty good space to be in right now.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks, Randall. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all the listeners the viewers out there.
Yeah, you got it. Have a good one.
Cheers. Man.